Welcome to my channel, SteveO the Window Cleaner. Today we're going to talk all about how to basically hook up your Xero Pure or your Xero Pure X2 when you first get it. And this video is mostly for people who have just invested in a Xero Pure and are basically wondering, okay, I first get it, what do I do to hook it up? So this is the Xero Pure X2. Everything I'm talking about here goes the same with a original Xero Pure as well. When I sell these systems, I like to sell them with particular hosing, 3/8" inner diameter hosing, about 150 feet. That includes the extra 50 feet that you get with the system. The X2 comes with 1/2" inner diameter hosing, while the original Xero Pure will come with 3/8" inner diameter hosing. So let's get to basically just from the water source all the way to the brush on how to set it up when you first get it. And an important thing to do is when you first run the system, allow the system to run for about 15 to 20 minutes so all of those filters get filled up with water. And after that, you'll start seeing water coming out of the DI output. But that is usually the biggest question we get as sales reps when someone first receives a Xero Pure is there's no water coming out. And that's just because you just need to have give a little bit of time for the filters to all fill up. But let's start from the water source and we'll go all the way to the brush as far as the hookup process. Okay, so from your water source, you're gonna wanna get a garden hose. I just use the 0G garden hose. These you can usually pick up at your local hardware store. And they're great as far as being able to store easily away. I've had this for well over 3 years and it's still good. So this is about a 25-foot section of garden hose. Hook that up to your water source. Now, before we turn it on, we'll hook it up to the actual system. So here, starting with the system, we have the carbon filter, of course, then we have the ROs, then we have the DI. Where we're gonna hook up our water source is into the actual carbon filter. Now, what I have on here is just a quick release set. These don't come with the system, but I would strongly suggest it. I have the male output on the wastewater, and I also have a male output on my garden. And this makes it just basically easy to store away when you're done, and then easily to connect at a job just to make that setup time quicker. So your wastewater is just gonna sit out. Quite a bit of water will come out of this, usually equal to what's coming out of your brush. You're just gonna let that sit on the side. I usually try to put that in the lawn or rocks. I haven't had any customers ever make any comments about it, but it will get the area around the system wet, so just know that, but it's nothing unusual. The TDS out of this will be always kind of high, so just know that. But this is basically just your wastewater and just let that sit out. So then what you want to do is take your garden hose and plug it into here. Now, if you didn't have the quick connect and you just had it where it's threaded, you would just want to make sure to thread it all the way in, hand tight, so that you don't get any leaks, just like that. But I like to have the quick connects. Okay, our water source plugged in. Now, what's gonna happen here is your water is gonna go from your carbon all the way up this tube to the ROs. It is gonna come down through the ROs. So it comes down through the ROs, some water goes out of your wastewater, and then most water comes out of right here. So let me just turn on the water source real quickly so you can see that the water's coming out of there. So you can see here, here's the wastewater coming out, right? We currently have the RO off. If we turn it on, get all soaked there. Just turn it on all the way, letting water come out like that. And then what we'll do is that this hose that is plugged into the DI here for travel, just so you have no leaks, that is gonna go right into here. And that's gonna bring your water from the RO to the DI, which is gonna finish the purification process. So, just so you see it, that hose is coming around here, going into the DI, and then that fitting right over there is our output, which will put our 3/8" inner diameter hosing on to keep the good pressure. And I have about 150 feet of that right now hooked up. So we'll put that there. And then once we do that, say if the water source wasn't on yet, but say you already have the water source on, but you have your RO turned off, you're just going to flick that on, and now that's bringing water into your DI and out into your hosing. And then that will bring us through all of this hosing here. Okay, I have 150 feet here. This will keep your water pressure really good. And then if you order a Xero water fed hose, it's going to come with this connection here. I actually had the seal missing in here, so that's why you see this leaking. But then if you ever want to turn this off or on, off is that way, on is that way. Okay, so we have water coming out of that connection, and that is just going to our actual brush setup over here. So you see here, now the rinse bar is going and you've got water to your brush. So that's it as far as setting up your Xero Pure. When breaking it down, first thing to do, of course, is just turn off your water source. Okay. Let that water drain out a little bit. And then basically, sometimes if you undo this a little quick, it'll do that. That's not a problem. So for storage, you're going to hook back up that there. You're going to come over here. You're going to turn off your RO. Undo that here. Okay. Then you're going to undo the DI. Take this hose. Put it back onto the DI outlet. And therefore, when you store this away in your truck or van or whatever, you won't have any leaking from the system. That's it as far as how to hook up your Xero Pure or your Xero Pure X2 when you first get it. Make sure just to let it run for a good like 15 to 20 minutes when you first get it. But overall, just make sure to kind of check your TDS, keep care of your system, change out your carbon filter about every 4 to 8 weeks, especially during heavy use. Your RO filter should last around 3 to 4 years, and then your DI, what I find with this system is about once or twice a year as far as replacing the resin. But with the TDS meter you get with it, just make sure you watch all that. If you have any questions, just let me know, and hope this video has helped. Have a good day. Bye-bye.